afternoon, FUS community. My name is Sean Kenny with the Franciscan Beat, bringing you today's top headlines from on campus and around the world. But before we begin, I encourage you to subscribe to the Franciscan Beat YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the latest and greatest news from our campus. An English teacher at a Pennsylvania private school is under fire for his use of a pornographic sex education curriculum that he hopes to have a transformative impact by quote-unquote desensitizing children to the right of sex acts. Red State reports that a video has surfaced in which Al Vernaccio of Friends Central School in Pennsylvania declares that from ages 3 to 18, quote, every single one of those kids is a sexual being. They have been since birth, and at every age and stage we can offer them age-appropriate transformative sexuality education, unquote. A 2018 profile in the Philadelphia Magazine approvingly details Vernaccio's revolutionary approach to sex education, especially, quote-unquote, porn literacy, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's grounded in the understanding that kids, whether we like it or not, are watching porn and that we need to provide them with the critical thinking necessary to understand its messages. Is porn harming our culture? Yeah, I think it is, Vernaccio said at the time, and we do have to find ways to stop that harm. However, he argued that the harm was not inherent to the viewing of sex, but in the quote-unquote messages conveyed by most common varieties of porn. Shortly after U.S. President Joe Biden paid an unexpected visit to Ukraine and promised the country $500 million more in military aid, former President Donald Trump warned that the world is closer now as it ever has been to a third global conflict. Trump made the comments just days ahead of the one-year anniversary of Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022, which has since become a lengthy and costly conflict heavily financed by the U.S. government. In a 3.5-minute video published Tuesday afternoon, Trump argued that the Biden administration and the globalist deep state have catapulted the U.S. towards the brink of World War III through their mishandling of the Ukraine situation, something that would have never have happened if he were still in the White House. World War III has never been closer than it is right now, Trump says. We need to clean the house of all the warmongers and America last globalists in the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the national security industrial complex. Trump, who previously warned that the sabotage of the Nord Stream 2 pipelines, quote, could lead to major escalation or war, end quote, with Russia, said Tuesday that his refusal to listen to establishment figures in Washington, D.C. helped keep the U.S. out of war during his presidency. The 45th president's comments came just after current President Joe Biden made an unexpected trip to Kiev, Ukraine's capital, where he met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. While in the embattled country, Biden promised another $500 million in military aid to finance the war and vowed that the U.S. would continue to back Ukraine's fight against Russia, quote, for as long as it takes, end quote. The additional $500 million is the latest in a series of large giveaways by the Biden administration to the Ukrainian government. Between the February 24, 2022 invasion and January 6, 2023, the U.S. government paid out over $24.2 billion to bankroll the military effort against Russia, according to the Department of Defense. As for today's weather, today was a high of 47 degrees. Tonight, expect temperatures around 42. Tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 69. Next few days are going to fluctuate between the low 40s and the mid 50s. Well, that about wraps it up for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Franciscan Beat News Show. My name is Sean Kenny, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, Steubenville.